in the weeks to come. Eoghan Corry, travel expert, is with us now to discuss the latest changes, the smorgasbord that is travel. Eoghan, good morning.
Good description, Jonathan, the smorgasbord, because it's very Scandinavian, some of the approach to this, yes.
Yeah, little scattered. I mean, I was just reading this morning, Hong Kong is now producing a list of 8 random countries that they're closing flights to. I couldn't find who it was, but again, it just shows you that there is an anxiety around the world because numbers are creeping up. I mean, the thing that people here are worried about is the booster cert, because anyone who has had the booster, that means that if there is a change to the vaccination cert that allows you to travel, the booster should get you there. But the Irish government has, for some reason, been a little slow in adding it to your COVID pass.
Absolutely, and no plans to do so from my inquiries. This is the big looming next problem for travel. I'm very optimistic, by the way, about 2022 happening, because when you look at the supply side, what the airlines have put in place, there's a very, very strong schedule. Now, Ryanair pared back about 30% for January, but that's, evaluating staff shortages. But the next big looming issue is the one you just put your finger on there. We all have, the booster, for those who haven't, and most people have at this stage, it comes as a card. It's about half the size of the original COVID cert card. Doesn't come with a QR code, and it is not uploaded to your EU digital cert. Some countries already have the facility for doing so. The information at the time was it would be up to the apps to be able to read the digital COVID cert. But if the information isn't placed with the digital COVID cert, that is going to start creating problems. The big one this morning is France, January the 17th. They will start looking for evidence that you've had a booster, and that means that people getting into major attractions, and Euro Disney would be the major attraction for at this time of the year for people travelling to France, are going to have problems if it's not uploaded to our digital cert, that QR code on our phone.
Any particular reason from government as to why that hasn't happened? Everybody, we all registered when we got our vaccines with our PPS number, so our PPS number is the only unique identifier we have. Surely it's just a case of linking up that system with either the GPs or the vaccination centres, and Bob's your uncle. I don't know why it's taken so long, but then again, we're still waiting for a system where you can register a positive antigen test, so I shouldn't be that surprised.
Well, we can dwell a little bit on the IT failures, because, the volume of what they're dealing with and what they've achieved has been quite substantial. In European terms, it's not that different. I mean, a lot of countries ran into problems just with the volume of the information that's being uploaded. The positive thing on this is everything, the booster was entered into the system, and it's just getting the system where the records of who has been received the booster linked up with the system, the information that's available on the QR code. The joy of the QR code is that the original information can be updated. You don't have to get a new QR code to do so. Should all be possible. Not the biggest problem in the world in January, but let's say after St. Patrick's Day, when people start moving, and we have already got a situation where at European level, they said that there is a sell-by date or a best-by date on your second vaccination that will run out in 9 months. Individual countries introduced it, and now it's been more or less accepted at European level, and they will look for the booster. That booster needs to be on the QR code. There's no evidence. There's no plans to put it there at the moment, from what I hear, but that could all change in the coming weeks. The IT systems, as is the health service, is under serious pressure by the huge explosion in numbers.
Yeah. Text in from a listener here. Could you please ask Eoghan, I'm hoping to go skiing in Austria in February. What are the recommendations / requirements, or where can I get that information?
The Austria's open, and the booster will be required by Austria specifically as well. But so bring your card with you. You will have everything on your QR code. That will be required to actually access the ski lifts at the moment. They will scan your QR code for your digital search. So there are There's no everything could change. Austria has been one of the countries that has been quickest to impose restrictions, but they have no testing restrictions. As it stands, there are 5 countries that require tests before you travel, and Ireland is one of those. So always remember to take your test, your antigen test in this case, before you return to Ireland. Also, don't forget the locator forms. And to sum it up, Jonathan, we used to need 2 things to travel: boarding pass and passport. We now need boarding pass, passport, digital search, and a locator form as well. And there are countries that require testing. The most significant, obviously, Irish people returning home will need a test, but the most significant outbound is Portugal.
Yeah, Michal is making the point on Twitter as well, is saying Spain's going to look for booster certs from the 1st of February. Had you heard that?
Yeah, they're going like dominoes. I mean, the first problems are going to arise in France, and the big numbers, our big numbers in winter travel to Spain, obviously in the Canary Islands and Portugal, and we have a huge wintering out population as well. That normally about 80,000 people winter in Spain from Ireland. We've no, obviously, way of tracking how that's gone since COVID, but that could it seems to be, just from anecdotal evidence, a lot more people. So when Spain kicks in on February the 1st, we are going to run into trouble. Now, what we've seen, this is very important, when the place that you will be checked for your information is going to be at the airport gate. It's not really by immigration. There's spot checks done by immigration. So getting on the flights will be an issue.
Yeah.
I would imagine that Ryanair and Aer Lingus will need clarification from the government of what happens.
Yeah, it's being farmed out to the poor unfortunates at the check-in desk, which is not great for them. Briefly, if we can, Eoghan, I mean, the one thing that became obvious yesterday, travel companies and those who invest in them were quite buoyant yesterday with the latest data coming out on Omicron, that they think that it's going to be relatively straightforward, and that's resulted. We knew there was going to be seat sales, but is there value there at the moment? And what confidence have we that if it all goes Pete Tong, that we won't lose our money like we did in 2020?
2020 won't happen again. The systems are in place. Ryanair will get your money back very quickly. They are buoyant, but what they're doing at the moment is they've got seat sales like we've never saw before. Ryanair usually sells 2 months in advance. The summer is for sale at the moment. One of the reasons is they need information what the booking patterns are, so they can make the decisions to put the routes in place.